Welcome back to the next C++ video in the C++ video programming series. My name is Pranav.
My name is Arnesh.
And we're going to go over the stream extraction operator and user input in C++. Okay, so we worked with output to the screen, but I want my user to enter data so I can work with this data and then output stuff with this data. How cool would that be? Wouldn't that be cool, Arnesh?
Yes, it would be. It allows users to just input their things instead of just seeing some simple output on the screen.
It's almost as cool as getting into Harvard.
It sure is, or getting to MIT for that matter.
Yes. Okay, let's learn that now. So first of all, we learned in last video that we can use something called the cout. And what this does is it allows us to output to our monitor or our screen. And what we have here is we have something called the insertion operator, the stream insertion operator. And what we can do is we can obviously print something like hello world. But what if I wanted to, of course, as I posed this question earlier, ask for user input? Say I wanted to do, what is your name? Something like that. How can I do this, Arnesh?
That is a good question. Oh, what is the opposite of out? Oh, it's in. So what I think is that you have to switch the out to in. So in this case, it would be cin in that case.
Is that right?
Yes, it is. That's what I was getting at.
Okay.
Now, if you're working with cin, well, now we're going to take the opposite of the stream insertion operator, which would be
the stream extraction operator. Is that right?
Yes, it is. And in that case, how we notate is two greater than signs, basically the opposite direction of our cout.
Okay, so cin, and then I do this, and then I want to store the person's name. So can I just store the person's name in anywhere? Where can I store the person's name?
Oh, one of the first concepts we can learn in coding is a variable. So let's create a variable.
Okay.
Let us say, now what I mentioned in the last video is strings. We'll start to see that come into play. A string is basically any words we see around us. Hello world is basically any of the text we see around us is a string. So we want to say string, and you could just name any variable you want. So just say string name. And basically, we can just store whatever the value of name that the user inputs. We can say stream extraction operator name being the variable in that case.
I see. So if I'm getting this correctly, what's going to happen here is it's going to say, what is your name? And then it's going to let the user type in something, which can be their name. And then what it's going to say is it's going to do nothing after that, right? Nothing's going to happen, right?
Well, it's going to store whatever the user typed into the variable name, and using that extraction operator, like cin extraction operator, our value stored in name is what the user typed. So it's basically taking user input. Cin stream extraction operator allows us to store some value in a variable, and we can then use that variable anywhere later on in our program.
Oh, that's very interesting. So with that, I can just say cout. I can use my name to do anything. I can say cout.
You can say you'll get into Harvard, and that will come true.
Oh, wow. Okay, let's do that.
Yeah, we'll got into Harvard.
All right.
All right. And one thing to mention is, do not forget that semicolon at the end of each statement. You need the semicolon in C++.
Okay, let's see.
So let us try to run our program and see if it works. So type in name. He got into Harvard. Yay. That is amazing.
I wish this was true. Okay.
It will.
Okay. All right. So that was some stream extraction operator and the cin. Let's play around with this a little bit. Let's just say that I wanted to do something where I'm building a program and I'm asking the user for two numbers and I wanted to add the numbers and then output it. So let's work with that, okay? So let's say that I wanted to call the numbers x and y, right? X and Y. So I have created two integer variables, and I have called the first one X and the second one Y. And then in between here, I have a comma. You don't have to create it like this. You can obviously create it like this as well. And whoops, and this would be totally fine. But obviously, since we are having the same data type, int in this case, it's completely fine to just do this. It's actually better to do this because it takes up one fewer line. And when you have a program that's like super long, it's better actually to do this than to have it on separate lines. Okay, now I want to ask the user for two. I want to ask the user to type in two numbers and store each of the numbers in different variables. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to say cout, and then ask them to type two numbers. What do I do after this?
So you do sin, cin, and then our stream extraction operator, and then X, and you also do another stream extraction operator in Y.
Interesting.
And that should work.
Okay. What if this gets confusing? Because what if I type in 1, 2, 3, and then I type in 1, 2, 3 again with a space in between? What's gonna happen then?
It's gonna read them separately based on like the spaces you're giving.
Okay, interesting. But what if, okay, how does it determine that the number that I'm entering is another number? Like what if I say 1, 2, 3, and then I say 1, 2, 3 right after without any spaces or anything?
Well, in that case, it's gonna have a hard time identifying which number is which.
Okay, it's interesting. So I need a white space character in between, right?
Yes, you do.
Okay, so that means I can say like new line, I can say space, I can say tab, and that's how it's going to identify that it's another number.
Yep, that's exactly how it should work. If you give two spaces, it should be able to identify that first number, and it should also be able to identify that second number.
All right, that's interesting. Okay.
So let's try it out. See if it works.
Let's go ahead and I'll put the sum. The sum of your two numbers. And then I can just go x plus y. Okay, so let's say type two numbers. Whoops. Okay, let's just say 6, and then I'll add a space, and then I'll say 9. And the sum of my two numbers is 15. All right, so our program works fine.
Indeed, it does.
In the next video, we'll talk about functions, because doing this is kind of stupid, right? What if I want to do this with like another two numbers and then another two numbers? Am I just going to go ahead and copy paste this like infinitely many times? No, obviously I don't want to do that. I will go ahead and create a function so that I can call the function many times. And that's going to be the topic of next video. I hope you enjoyed this video. See you in the next one.
Bye.